A Digimon that's a rabbit with swords? Sign me up. Okay, so for Digi-Egg cards, it's a little bit different. We're actually not going to be maining with the RBO1 Digi-Egg card. Instead, we're actually going to be playing 4 copies of the BT10 Bosomon instead. Now keep in mind guys, there is an errata on this. It's your turn once per turn. When an effect suspends a Digimon, this Digimon gets an extra 1000 DP, so you're not able to sort of like rack it up multiple times all the time, but it's still a really relatively good egg just because you are more consistently suspending your opponent's Digimon, more so than compared to the RB1 Bosomon egg, whereas this one has the correct text. Your turn while your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, this Digimon gets extra 1000 DP. So the BT10 one is more likely to happen compared to the RB1 and through my personal sort of testing and gameplay and experience. So that's how I like to go about it. But if you guys want to go for different types of eggs, I do have other suggestions that I mentioned a little bit later, or if you want to switch up ratios based on your personal preference, totally go for it as well. So let's move into our rookies. Of course, 4 copies of the RB1 Angoramon. This is your main searcher of the deck, grabbing anything that's Angoramon and it's text related, also grabbing your dedicated tamer, which is your Ruli, and then giving you an inheritable extra 1000 DP while your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, which is the same as the Bosomon egg from the RB1. For the other Angoramon, we definitely want to be playing 4 copies of the promo P060 Angoramon. This one has a simple inheritable effect of when attacking once per turn. If you have a Ruli in play, you get to gain a memory instantly with no other requirements, which is always really nice because you're always consistently going to be trying to see your tamer while you're trying to combo. And this is the rookie that you're always just trying to build your stack with and Digivolve simply because it does not have any other on-play effects. As we continue on, we got 3 copies of this Angoramon right here from BT10. This one has your turn once per turn. When you play a green tamer, you get to draw a card. This effect is okay. You do get it every once in a while, which is kind of nice, so you can cycle through in the early stages of the game if you really need to. But also more importantly, it's inheritable, lets you draw one as well. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, your turn once per turn, and being able to draw is always going to be important because you want to find more pieces, and that's what green kind of needs mainly too. And then last but not least, for the rest of Angoramon, I like to play 2 copies of the BT13 one, which has just simple blocker by itself, but also the all turns effect. While your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, it gains extra 1000 DP. Keep in mind this one's all turns, which is a little bit more relevant, and it can beef up your top end and your higher stack way stronger than it actually currently is, which is kind of nice to have for sure. Now, as for the level 4s, 4 copies of the RB1 Symbiotic Angoramon. This one's just like the dedicated level 4, just like most other archetype built-in ones, because when you Digivolve and you don't have a Ruli in play, you get to play one from your hand for free, which is always fantastic and lots of value. And then with its inheritable, it's also all turns. When your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, this Digimon gains extra 1000 DP, which comes in handy for sure, especially when it's all turns too. As we continue for more Symbiotic Angoramons, 4 copies of the BT10 one, just an inheritable. Your turn once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you gain a memory. You're going to be suspending a lot of your opponent's Digimon most of the time. That's why it's always going to be value for this guy when you get into it as you're building your stack. And then we got 2 copies of the BT13 one. It's a nice jamming one. Kind of nice when you go in for early chip damage every now and then, but you really rarely do so. Otherwise, then you kind of just build your stack and have its inheritable of all turns while your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon. This Digimon gains extra 1000 DP. That's really what it's there for. More power is really all it needs. Last but not least, to round off for the level 4s, 2 Metal Copy Terriermons, hybrid for game, which is kind of nice. We do play quite a handful of green tamers, so why not? Level 5s, 4 copies of the RB1 Angoramon. It's when Digivolving effect gains piercing for the turn, and then also if a Digimon card with Angoramon in its name is in this Digivolution sources, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, really helping you to combo and synergize together with suspending effects all together. You're gonna have a lot of those like I mentioned, and you're gonna see more. And then it's inheritable if your turn once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, and you get to trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Trashing security is always fantastic. Really good mechanic, really powerful effect overall. And then we have 4 copies of the BT13 Lamortmon here too. This one, Digivolving for 3. It has a hand main effect. If you have a Ruli in play, you get to place 1 Symbiotic Angoramon from your hand underneath your Angoramon as its source to sort of warp Digivolve into this one directly for 3 costs. That's really nice because you can turbo Digivolve straight to a level 5 very quickly and then potentially into a 6 right afterwards, which is giving this deck a huge, powerful jumping Digivolve combo when it comes to it. It's inheritable exactly the same as the RB1 Lamortmon, trashing security when you do delete opponent's Digimon on your turn once per turn as well. That's it for level 5s. Let's showcase our level 6s, our main boss Digimon of the deck. We have 4 copies of the Diarbbitmon right here. Diarbbitmon is really strong in the RB1 set. First of all, it does cost 4 to Digivolve, but it comes with a whole bunch of effects, which is really good. It has blocker, it has a when Digivolving and when attacking effect, which is not once per turn. You get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And if they have no unsuspended Digimon in play, you get to gain a memory. And then lastly, with its end of your turn, it basically lets a Digimon with Angoramon in its text attack an opponent's Digimon. Specifically, you're going to be attacking with this guy mostly because it's your boss Digimon of the deck. There's some really insane combos that can keep attacking your opponent's Digimon non-stop with this particular guy, which is really, really strong and really powerful, which we'll showcase more in the combo segment later on. Then, to sum up for the rest of the Diarbbitmons and level 6s, we played 2 copies of the promo one, which only costs 3 to Digivolve, which is kind of memory efficient and it's kind of nice. When Digivolving, it suspends 2 of your opponent's Digimon, and in all turns, once per turn, when one of your Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon by battle, you get to unsuspend one of your own Digimon, as long as Angoramon is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. This one's just rather niche in my opinion, but doesn't come up as often, but still a really, really powerful card. Definitely another Diarbbitmon that you want to get into because of its memory efficiency, and being able to sort of like attack twice is always definitely nice. Okay, Tamers, let's talk about Ruli. 4 copies of the RB1 Ruli here. It's a 3-cost Tamer. It has a your turn when one of your Digimon Digivolves into green card with Beast, Animal, or Sovereign other than Sea Animal in their traits. By suspending this Tamer, you get to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. As you're climbing through your Angoramon stack, you basically get to turbo Digivolve even quicker. And it has the secondary effect, which really, really importantly synergizes with the first Diarbbitmon, which we saw from the RB1 set. End of your turn, once per turn, you may unsuspend one of your Digimon with Angoramon in its text. And this is what helps you enable your multiple attacks and multiple swings in combination with Diarbbitmon essentially, and which would again talk about it in the combo segment later on. And then we'd like to play 2 copies of the other Ruli, the promo 1 3-cost. When one of your Digimon with Angoramon and its Digivolution cards attacks, you get to basically beef it up by 3000 DP, which is always nice if you ever need to swing over stuff, which you tend to do so in this deck quite a lot. And then last but not least, 2 Mimis, Memory Tamer. We do play 5 eggs. We do cycle through eggs very quickly as well because of her just super powerful, and also mainly as a Memory Tamer. Options, very simple. 2 green memory boost, just for more searching, gaining memory, finding pieces, and continuing your combos. Really just standard grade staple. And last but not least, we have HPD right here. Honestly, through playtesting, I didn't see its usage as much when it came to all the combos. I just always thought it was a really nice staple card to have, but there are other cards, again, I'll mention in the suggestions that you guys can sort of like add in and switch it up, but still a really, really powerful card whenever it comes up for sure. Okay, so for tech choices, there isn't a whole lot of cards to cover, but I do want to talk about some other alternative eggs that are really beneficial right here. First, there's Gummymon. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you get to draw 1. Really great for draw power. If you don't need DP power and you want to draw and have to find more pieces in consistency instead, which green still kind of lacks a little bit, especially when it comes to this deck, Gummymon is perfect. Tinymon's inheritable is when attacking, if you Digivolve this turn, this Digimon gets extra 1000 DP for the turn, which you're always going to be Digivolving and then you're going to be combo, so then when you attack, really, really great. This is a BT1 egg, but really nice because it's also reprinted from RB1 set, so if you guys are buying yourself an RB1 set, this is also a very accessible egg that you can sort of like add into the deck when you're building it from the box. Last but not least, I think Quartzmon is a really good card that you can also add in, just because of how powerful it really is. Really, really great level 7 boss Digimon to sort of top it all off in certain situations, which is great. So if anything, if I don't want to play HPD, this might be the card I might be adding in instead of it. So really, really nice. Again, you guys know how strong Quartzmon really is. All right, combos and sort of starting hand that you want to see. Ideally, you want to see your RB1 Angoramon just because it can Digivolve. It can also sort of like search if you on play it. Otherwise, again, level 3s, level 4s, you are building your stack. Very straightforward. You build your stack from your 3s, 4s, 5s into your 6s, and then you sort of let your Diarbbitmon do the work afterwards. So you just want to see this kind of line and go through. In between, you do want to see your Rulis. Very, very important. This deck does slow down a lot without a Ruli. Having this, especially the RB1 Ruli, is just incredibly crucial for the deck and really, really, really important. But anyways, like I said, hatch. Ideally, I like to digivolve into this one because again, it just has the inheritable, and then this one I would just rather hard play and then search, and then eventually a very optimal combo is that you can go into Symbari Angoramon once you digivolve, and once you have access to Ruli when you're searching, you get to play this one with the best value out there. Now you're really set up, and really what you can do is now you have two options. You can actually continue to digivolve in the back depending on what your hand looks like, or you can continue to digivolve outside to pressure against your opponents. You know, by being able to digivolve into the RB1 Angoramon, you get to suspend Ruli to, you know, reduce the cost by 1, and you get to spend something down with Lamortmon, and if against a safe kind of deck, you can even swing over that Digimon right after. And because if your opponent doesn't have any unsuspended Digimon all turns, it will gain extra 1k here, 1k there, so it's 10k swing over with piercing, just like that, which is kind of nice. And if it's ever still your turn, let's just say you're at 1 or 0, whatever it is at this moment, and you can pass your opponent to 4, digivolve into Diarbbitmon just like that, and then Diarbbitmon will have end of turn effect. Ruli is going to have end of turn effect as well, which basically you get to choose whichever order. They both happen at the same time, so ideally we're going to use Ruli first to unsuspend the Diarbbitmon here. And then when digivolving as well for Diarbbitmon, don't forget, you get to suspend down your opponent's Digimon. If they don't have any unsuspended Digimon, you gain a memory immediately just like that. And then if they have a Digimon right there, you get to swing over that Digimon, suspend another thing. If there's nothing else is unsuspended, you get to gain a memory just like that as well. And then you get to swing over, and then you get to also still trash a security because you delete opponent's Digimon by battle, and pierce for the check with a lot of damage, which is actually a really powerful aggro green deck overall. If you want to play a little bit defensively and you don't want to really go for the attacks, you can always use the Ruli to unsuspend, and then you have a blocker sitting right there just like that, which is always fantastic there. So digivolving outside is kind of nice. You know, forgoing the egg is not that important, but for the other combo, if all you need is a Ruli, you know, with 3 memory and an Angoramon, and then you want to see at least like a different Symbari Angoramon, any of them, and this particular Lamortmon for BT3, because you can go for the skip jump digivolve combo. So right here, by putting under the Symbari Angoramon with the Lamortmon's hand effect, you get to digivolve this Angoramon straight up to Lamortmon for 3 costs, just like that. You can even suspend Ruli to reduce the cost by 1, which is fantastic. Or even, let's just say you didn't, you go into your Diarbbitmon after you suspend it, so you pay 3 instead, and you repeat the exact same combo again. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, you get a gain of memory, you know, right here. If your turn once returned, when opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you get to gain a memory just like that as well. And then now you get to use the end of turn effects. You first, again, you would try to use Diarbbitmon's first this time because it is unsuspended, and then you use Ruli's after. Again, they trigger at the same time, so what happens is you swing, end of turn, and then Ruli's effect will unsuspend, and then you also use Diarbbitmon's when attacking effect, suspend down another opponent's Digimon. If they don't have another one, you gain another memory, retaining back to your turn, which is insane. And then you basically get to swing over their Digimon, trash a security as well, and when you attack with Angoramon in here, gain a memory. You gain a ton of memory with this entire combination, which is always really nice. And let's just say you do something else. You can say, let's just play this other Ruli, pass your opponent to 2, and then at the end of the turn, if your opponent still has a Digimon, your Diarbbitmon can still attack into that Digimon. Again, gaining a memory for when attacking, because if they don't have any unsuspended stuff, and then just like that, finishing them off and clearing their board, which is really, really good at what this deck does best. And you really rinse and repeat this combo over and over again as much as you can. Establish board advantage with your attacking removal at the same time, trashing your opponent's security to get rid of really vital stuff. And if you ever need to, you get to suspend Ruli, this other one, to give it extra more DP, so then you're always like swinging safely into security. Now, that's basically the main combo with the RB1 Diarbbitmon. If otherwise, instead you go into this particular Diarbbitmon, this one you ideally want to be starting at like sort of 3 memory and sort of retain your turn so they can go to 0 so you can make attacks. It's more value. This one doesn't have as much as value when it comes to end of turn. You want to make sure you're retaining your turn when you're getting into this particular guy. So when you digivolve into it, let's just say you do pass to 1. So when you suspend your opponent's Digimon, at least you get to gain this memory back. Or if you use Ruli to reduce the cost even further, this is why this guy's really efficient. You can actually pull it off with 2 or 1 memory in your turn thanks to it, which is great. Suspend down 2 of your opponent's Digimon, swing over one of them, if you have enough DP and power, trash the security stacks since you got rid of them. Because opponent's Digimon is deleted, you get to suspend one of your own Digimon, which particularly is going to be this guy, and you get to swing over again. And then you do something else. Again, let's just say, I don't know, you play a Mimi for 4, and then at the end of turn, this really gets you unsuspend and keep it like protected, kind of like that from being attacked, which is always fantastic. If you ever have both of them on board, it's absolutely insane. You can do a whole lot of combos of attacking, unsuspending, and sort of sequencing that way, which is a really kind of combo heavy deck when it comes to battling and utilizing your end of turn effects. So really important how you sequence them, and when you do so, you can actually just take down almost any deck, which is absolutely insane with this guy right here. So if you guys want to see some Diarbbitmon action with some hack and slash, be sure to watch the gameplay video right here, right now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video. And this is AVAULT signing out.